Picture this, a blizzard outside. Power gone, roads buried, you retreat underground. And realize the cold is winning, the walls are freezing, the air is dead. And the shelter you trusted is quietly turning against you. Most people think winter is when bunkers shine. That cold is the enemy they were built to defeat. But history tells a darker story, one almost nobody talks about. Because when temperatures dropped, many bunkers failed catastrophically. And one forgotten Cold War design didn't. Stay with me because the reason why might change how you think about survival forever. Here's the uncomfortable truth in the survival world. Concrete bunkers look strong, they feel permanent. But winter exposes their biggest weakness. Concrete is a thermal sponge. It sucks heat out of your body, out of the air, out of hope. In freezing conditions, that massive slab around you becomes a heat sink. Every breath you exhale warms it slightly, and the concrete steals it back, silently, endlessly. No insulation thick enough. No heater powerful enough, and when fuel runs out, the bunker doesn't just get cold. It becomes lethal, and this wasn't theory. It happened repeatedly during the Cold War. Families across North America rushed to build fallout shelters. Government pamphlets promised safety underground. Concrete blocks, steel doors, a sense of control in an uncontrollable world. But winter arrived and the problems followed. Condensation dripped from ceilings. Walls grew slick with moisture. Mold bloomed in sealed air. And temperatures dropped lower inside than outside. People burned through oxygen trying to stay warm. Some abandoned their shelters. Some never got the chance. So here's the question that changes everything. Why did one group of shelters stay warm, dry, and livable without heaters, without power, without concrete? The answer wasn't technology, it was humility. Instead of fighting the environment, they used it. This is where the story shifts. Because while official manuals pushed rigid boxes and reinforced slabs, ordinary people noticed something strange. Cellars didn't freeze the same way. Root cellars stayed cool in summer, but stable in winter. Snow caves kept explorers alive at sub-zero temperatures. And animals survived brutal winters underground without concrete, steel, or electricity. The Earth itself was doing something concrete never could. It was buffering temperature. That realization gave birth to a radically different approach, the Earth Arch Shelter. And no, this wasn't some futuristic invention. It was almost embarrassingly simple, a shallow arch built low. Buried under soil, not deep, just enough. And here's where it gets fascinating. Soil doesn't behave like concrete, it doesn't store cold the same way. It doesn't radiate heat away from you, instead, it stabilizes temperature slowly, gently, predictably. A few feet underground, the Earth stays close to the annual average temperature year-round. That means in winter, the ground is warmer than the air. In summer, cooler. Concrete fights the season, Earth ignores it. That single difference changes everything. The arch shape mattered too. Flat roofs collapse under snow load. Arches distribute pressure sideways, snow piles on, and the structure gets stronger, not weaker. And then there's moisture. Concrete traps it, Earth manages it. Earth Arch shelters breath. A low vent pulled in cool air, a high vent released warm, moist air. No fans, no power, just physics. Which meant no frost buildup, no dripping ceilings. No mold creeping in while you slept. During Cold War testing, something shocking emerged. Buried, Earth-covered structures stayed within a survivable temperature range even during extreme cold snaps, while nearby concrete shelters dropped into dangerous territory. And here's the part that still feels unreal. These shelters weren't expensive, they weren't high-tech, they weren't official. Some were built from timber ribs, some from sandbags, some from bent metal pipe and scrap wood, but winter didn't care about appearances. It rewarded physics. The Earth absorbed cold slowly, released heat slowly, and wrapped the shelter in silence. No wind chill, no radiant heat loss, no steel walls stealing warmth from skin. People slept, they conserved calories. They survived, and yet, this method never became mainstream. Why? Because it didn't look strong, it didn't photograph well, and it didn't sell fear the way concrete did. Fear sells fortresses, but survival rewards understanding. Today, modern preppers, off-grid builders, and eco-architects are quietly returning to this idea. Not because it's nostalgic, but because it works. Earth-sheltered homes now outperform traditional houses in winter efficiency. Storm shelters double as food storage, and all of it traces back to the same Cold War lesson most people missed. Here's the tension we rebuilding toward if Earth arch shelters solved winter survival decades ago. What else did we ignore? Because winter isn't the only time bunkers fail. And the next weakness is even more dangerous.